Hello and welcome to Retro Reviews, my channel where I review my favorite retro video games of all time as well as some modern releases I have recently finished. Today is a tough one because I'm going to be attempting to review Fortnite. Now I was there near the very beginning of Fortnite Battle Royale and I had a lot of fun with the game for a very long time. This is one of the longest running multiplayer games that I personally played. I don't typically play a lot of multiplayer stuff anymore, especially Battle Royale or Call of Duty, stuff like that I used to play a whole lot, but Fortnite captured my attention in a way that not many other games could. And it captured most of our attention because it was so big. All the big streamers were playing it. The game was a ton of fun. It was very accessible. The building mechanic was very unique. It differentiated itself enough from the other players in the space. And it was just a lot of fun. Getting that first victory royale was a really big surge of adrenaline, of dopamine. You know, it was one of those big moments in gaming. And I still remember mine. I still remember going into Moisty Mire and doing some coward strats and hiding underneath the bridge, or underneath one of the docks, and just hiding out until the very end, letting other people battle it out, and then sniping my way to a victory at the very end. It was pretty fun. I really enjoyed the game, and I'd play with my brother-in-law, I'd play with my friends. I just really enjoyed what Fortnite was. But now it's become something wholly different, for better and for worse. Fortnite has evolved and changed over time because it can't just stay stagnant. It can't remain the same thing forever, otherwise people would leave. The crux of a live service game is that no matter how good it is, it has to change and evolve, otherwise it's not going to keep people's attention for long enough. The OG seasons of Fortnite were so much fun. The first chapter of Fortnite is still the pinnacle in my opinion. They had so many great locations. Well, jumping at Pleasant Park was so phenomenal. When we finally got Tilted Towers, you know, we've got some of the most iconic places in the entire game, and it was just a lot of fun. So during the season, like chapter 1, the first few seasons, I think I didn't get into the game until like season 3 or something like that, somewhere in there, and I started playing, and I played for a very long time. I finished the entirety of chapter 1 and played through most of chapter 2 as well. I remember that change going from chapter 1 to chapter 2, seeing the map change in big ways, seeing a lot of landmarks, new things to introduce. I liked what they did between chapters 1 and 2. It was so much fun. The way that they introduced new weapons, the way that they did balancing and everything, the way that people were getting better at building was good and bad, of course, because then you got the sweats that could build a giant stack in about 0.5 seconds. Then you're like, well, I'm toast. But it was still a ton of fun. You'd usually find a lobby every now and again where you would have people comparable to your skill level, and it was good enough that even if you died, even if you lost early on or lost the end, you felt that drive to jump in one more time because the matches weren't that long. The game always pushed you to the end game pretty darn quickly, and it was a lot of fun. Most people remember chapters 2 and 3 as the most fun. I stopped playing at the end of chapter 2 when they introduced Spider-Man and the web swinging and everything. It just wasn't my favorite idea. I think that was the biggest turn for me in terms of the quality of Fortnite. Not that they can't do collaborations. I think collaborations can be a cool thing. But Fortnite at this point has become this weird amalgamation where every franchise has a representative to some degree, and most of them I don't feel work very well, especially when you get anime characters in there. When you've got Goku shooting a gun, it's just baffling. When you have Batman shooting a gun or Spider-Man, it just doesn't make any sense. These aren't characters that use weapons. Why would they be killing people in this game? That just kind of tipped it over for me when we had too many collaborations, and it just felt like, I don't know, this is just kind of a mess now. I jumped into Fortnite fairly recently when they brought back Fortnite OG. I was really interested. I got to play with my friends, got to play with my brother-in-laws a lot. I was really enjoying it. I was having a great time and really kind of reminiscing on the past. It was so much fun to revisit these old memories of mine. And I feel like it worked really, really well. So much so that clearly they did as well. They didn't expect it to be nearly as big as it was. And they're going to be bringing it back in the future, which I'm excited about. But then they introduced the new season, the newest season here, that I just have not yet been able to have a ton of fun with. Again, the only time I'm really playing at this point is playing with my brother-in-law, or with somebody like one of my close friends. I don't really just jump on Fortnite to play by myself anymore. And that's a good thing. You know, a social game is great. It's good to have those things. But every time I've jumped into practice or even playing with my friends, I just don't find the same amount of enjoyment. I don't know if it's the mechanic changes, if it's all these new crazy collaboration, new items that they've implemented to the game, being able to fly around and everything. There's just so much new that doesn't feel like it used to. The shooting doesn't feel as clean to me anymore. The movement doesn't feel as good either. The building even feels like it's either superfluous or absolutely necessary. And again, people can build so quickly now. It's just, if I haven't stayed in practice, it doesn't feel as good to jump back into. Now, I still have some fun jumping back in, but I still remember, I think chapter 2 was my most fond memories of this game. I had the most fun. I think was the most challenge, like in the best way possible. You had so much, a balanced amount of challenge, I think, in chapter 2. You had the people that were still getting really, really good. You had the high competitive people that were doing their thing. And typically you wouldn't get paired with those people. You get paired with people at least close enough to your own skill level. And if you encountered some people that were really good early on enough in the game, you would still have a chance to beat them. If you get to the end game and you're against someone that's a huge sweat, yeah, you're probably going to lose. But if you have the right weapons, you still could. You could still pull off the victory. And I remember getting several victories during chapter 2 and just really enjoying myself. But returning recently has just not been it. And I struggle to see Fortnite doing anything except bringing back OG to really recapture a lot of interest for me. I don't know how much interest a lot of other people have. I know there is a problem with bots as well. There are definitely tons of AI players in the games. Every single match I've played as of late has at least a few bots in there. Even toward the late game, I'll just randomly be going around the corner and I see something all of a sudden start shooting at me that I had no idea they even saw me, and they're missing all their shots just by a little bit, and then I kill them, and you can tell obviously by the name or the way they're moving, it's just a bot. And that's a little hard to stomach as well. It's like, am I actually playing against anybody, or am I playing against a bunch of bots? Am I playing against a bunch of bots until the very end, and now it's two players coming at each other? It just doesn't feel as cool. Pair that with like NPC characters or like NPC like bots, enemies that you can fight in certain areas to get certain medallions or upgrades and stuff. Again, I think it's just a bit of a mess now. So I think Fortnite way back in the day when it started was a really cool idea that evolved and got better and better and better until they reached this height of the popularity of the game and with all their mechanics and everything, and then they started to do too much, and it's evolved to the point where now I feel like it is on the decline. It's devolving. I think something like a good hard reset would be the best way to do it, because I don't think this current season is it. So for me, Fortnite is one of those games. I'm not going to give it a hard ranking here. I'm going to say that back in the day, this was one of the best multiplayer experiences you could possibly have, and even today, everyone has Fortnite. So it's still one of those games that you can just hop on and play with your friends and still have an enjoyable time. I just don't think it's nearly as good as it used to be. And I'm excited for them to bring OG back, because that is really where my heart lies for the game. That's where I have the most fun. So let me know in the comments section down below what you think. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.